Hola, and welcome to Spain Impossible. I'm your host, Jim. If you haven't been here before, you're in for a treat. This is step 2 of the Fat Loss After 50 Vodcast Blueprint. So, today we are going to be covering step 2. If you happen across this video in one of the search feeds or whatever, find step 0, step 0.5, or step 1 because you might be a little confused about what we're talking about today. All right, guys, step 2. We've made it. We landed on D-Day. Or should we call it B-Day? Blueprint Day. Starting your plan. It's go time. So, we've spent the last couple of weeks preparing. Hopefully over the weekend, we have done our grocery shopping. We've done any meal prepping that we're going to do for the week, and we have our food set to go. We know what's going to happen. We think. Maybe? Everybody's going to handle this differently. Everyone is going to handle this differently. Just keep your why in mind. Don't give up. It'll get better. But step 2 is all about staying on track, staying the course, following the blueprint. So keep your why in mind. Don't give up. It will get better. Get the food right first. Get your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, king, prince, pauper, figured out. Get your macros figured out. I like to say macros, but then I don't give you any numbers. Protein, healthy fat, fiber. Make sure that all of your meals contain those 3 things. If you have to pick one to go a little heavy on, pick protein. If you have to pick one to go a little light on, pick healthy fats. Otherwise, I suggest try and kind of keep them even. So, get the food right first. We're not going outside sprinting every day. We're not doing high intensity training, high intensity interval training. We're not doing anything but getting the food right first. If you want to start walking, if you have the time and you have the energy and you want to start walking on day 1, please do. Just start slowly. Only walk a few minutes out from the house and a few minutes back and see how you feel. And not just how you feel after you've walked. See how you feel the next day. Did your legs tighten up? Do you need to stretch your legs? Do you need to do any of these things? Did you think you walked only a few minutes and you actually walked like 15 minutes from your house and 15 minutes back? Did you overtax yourself so that now you don't feel like having a walk today? That's okay. Just put it in the knowledge bank. Just say, hey, you know what? I thought I was only walking for 5 minutes. Maybe I really need to, set my watch or set my phone. Did you get Google Fit or whatever the Apple equivalent is of that to track your steps? Get that on there. Get that on your phone. Carry it in your pocket while you walk. We're not trying to go whole hog on exercise. The number one thing in step 2 after the start date is getting your food right. So if you don't exercise the first couple of weeks because you want to focus on your food, focus on your food. Get the food right. Journal it all down. Scale every single day. Why? Because you're going to be up one day and down another day, and up one day and down another day, and maybe down 3 days in a row and then up almost back to where you started from 3 days earlier. Your body deals with foods differently. So every day, This is how I do it. Might be a little too much information, but that's how we roll here in the Blueprint. Every day, I wake up in the morning, I fix my oolong tea, my first cup of oolong tea. A couple splashes of lemon juice in there, help the liver, help the detox, get some good stuff going in my body. And I wait till I have a bowel movement. So after I go number 2, then I weigh myself. And if you have invested in the Inevifit scale or another scale, it's always best to step on it without clicking the app. Step on it, let the weight come up, step off of it. Because if it has been moved, kicked, jostled, whatever, that first step on it will reset it. It automatically calibrates. So you may step on it without and push the app, and right away, and your weight is 4 pounds higher than what you were expecting. So step on your scale, step off your scale. Let it reset. Then go back. Try to weigh yourself every day in the same basic clothing. So if you get up in the morning and you're in your jammies, up here in the northern part of the U.S., I tend to wear sweatpants when I get out of bed in the morning. And in the summer, I wear shorts. So there's a difference. So I take those off in my skivvies, just undies and maybe a t-shirt is how I weigh after I've had my first movement of the day. Now, I say first. I don't always have 2 or 3 or 4. I don't ever have 3 or 4. But I make sure I empty my bowels, empty my bladder, and then weigh. But I do this every day. It's not always the same time because I wake up at different times on different days. But that's the routine. So I've got my oolong tea with a couple splashes of lemon in it, and I wait. Sometimes I get to the second cup of oolong tea. Doesn't matter. Once I have weighed, I take my supplements, and I have a supplement video of the stuff that I take. I am researching a couple of other supplements, not by my diet pill. I am researching a couple of other supplements that are readily available on Swanson Vitamins. Now that I've got a few weeks in the bank of my Blueprint, if I add these things in, I'll be able to see within a week or 2 if they're making a difference. And if they are making a difference, I will let you know about it. If they don't make a difference, you'll never hear another word about it. So, not to worry. And not an affiliate. I don't make anything if for some reason I send you to Swanson Vitamins to get things like the teas that are integral. I want you to understand that. The teas are integral. The teas are part of what helps the body shed the weight. So oolong tea, Earl Grey helps clean out your pipes, keep your blood moving good because it's got citrus bergamot in it. Rooibos tea. You can look up on NIH. That's the National Institutes of Health. That's where they store every single document from clinical trials and all the other research that happens. They store it on NIH. You can look it up. Oolong tea is shown to help with weight loss. Rooibos tea is shown to help with weight loss, clinical stuff. And hibiscus tea. Hibiscus tea, not so much with the weight loss, but it's a great way to flavor water later in the day. Like I say, I brew that in the morning, leave it sit on the counter in my big cup all day. And when it's time to go to work, I take the tea bags out. I throw in my creatine. I throw in some ice and top it off with a little bottled water. And boom, I got a nice big iced tea to take with me to work. Keeps me from buying a Coke or a Pepsi or a Dr. Pepper, whatever. I just have it with me. So get the food right first. Don't overwhelm yourself with exercise and all these other things. Add the exercise in slowly. I have talked in other videos about starting slow with exercise. Don't overtax yourself. Don't give yourself muscle cramps. Don't give yourself sore, stiff, achy muscles and back and all this other stuff. That's why we start with walking. Just walking. You don't need to go to the gym. Enjoy the fresh air outside. Well, unless you live in a big city where there's a lot of smog. Another story. Never mind. I could go on for hours about that. Another reason I'm moving to Spain. If it isn't written, it is not true. So, journal. Print out the tracking sheets and utilize them. Because you're going to look back in a couple of weeks, and that's how you make tweaks and adjustments. If you lie on your food journal, on your tracking sheet, all you're doing is robbing yourself 2 weeks in the future from going, hey, if I make this little adjustment, let's see how that does. Like if you want to drop from 2 pieces of toast to 1. Or if you want to bring something from dinner back into the lunch window. So don't lie on your tracking sheets. The only person who's looking at these tracking sheets is you. Why are you going to lie to yourself? I mean, we lie to ourselves all the time. We always have. It's how we got as big as we are. Oh, I'm not that big. I'm not that overweight. We lie to ourselves all the time. But don't lie on your food journal. So have some fun with this. Come up with some shorthands for whatever it is that you're doing. And, it's a small amount of space to write in. But get your 3 macros at every meal. Protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Make smart choices. Whole foods. Foods that are as minimally processed as possible. And yes, I do understand that when you make a smoothie, you're processing the food. Don't come at me with that in the comments. Because that's a completely different kind of processing from chemicals and oils and additives. And those are the kinds of things that we're talking about. Processed and ultra-processed foods. If it isn't written, it is not true. Journal your food. If you're inclined to, journal your feelings, journal your thoughts, flip that page over, add a blank page in behind it. Just put a date by whatever entry you're making so you can kind of go back and look and go, oh, I felt kind of crappy the first few days. Or, oh, a week in, I started getting a sore throat and I started seeing some acne breakouts, because things like that will happen. They can happen. You're changing what you're feeding your body. So your body might rebel a little bit. Hunger shouldn't be a problem. If hunger's a problem, up your fiber. Get more fiber. You know what? If you got to add a serving of black beans to your eggs in the morning so you're getting more fiber, by God, make an omelet with frickin' black beans in it. So that's what's going to keep you full. The healthy fat, the protein, and the fiber. It's going to stave off that hunger for hours. If you're feeling hungry, your fiber's too low. Plain and simple. If you're feeling hungry, get more fiber in, because that's what's going to keep you full. Make sure you're drinking your teas. I know I already said this. And after the teas are done, water and water and water and water. Not that you got to drink that much, just that's what you drink. Just drink water. With the exception of, like I do with my dinner, a V8. I know it's high in sodium. I know it's ultra processed. It's 2.5 servings of vegetables into your system and those nutrients, and it has fiber, and it's only 60 calories. We don't count calories here, but hey, beats the hell out of reaching for a Coke or a Mountain Dew or an orange Fanta or a Dr. Pepper, whatever it is that you would normally reach for. Or if you like alcohol, it beats the hell out of reaching for a beer, because beer has no fiber. Beer has no healthy fats. Beer has just calories. So let's have some fun with this. We're in the middle of step 2. We're just getting started. These are baby steps. So potty considerations. There will be some urgency at times in the first couple of weeks. After that, you've been letting your body have good fiber for a couple of weeks. Your gut bacteria will start to realign. Everything will be back to, let's not say normal, but to like a homeostasis type of situation. And things will even out. You may actually impress yourself with some of the bowel movements you will have after eating this way for a couple of weeks. Sorry for that. The teas are going to make you pee. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to help your body flush toxins. As your body burns up this fat and gets rid of it, your liver uses fat to store toxins. You want those toxins out of the body as quickly as possible so they don't sit in there and they don't make you feel terrible. You're gonna pee a lot. That's why 8 cups of tea and water. You want to keep everything flowing out of your body. So there's a reason for everything in this blueprint. The lemon and ACV, apple cider vinegar, they're going to take some getting used to, but get them in. And if you saw it on the other video, the tip I have for using red wine vinegar to soften up your toast a little bit, if you buy the Dave's Killer bread like I suggest, again, not an affiliate, not getting paid, not being sponsored, it's the best bread I've found next to, say, Ezekiel bread, the original Ezekiel bread. So your choice. Find a really good bread, either Ezekiel bread or Dave's Killer bread that I've displayed before, the 21 nuts and seeds or whatever it's called. I don't even know. I just know it's the green bag. Give me that. Get the lemon in. Just start with drops, a few drops. And then as your tolerance builds up in your tea, get up to the 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon in every cup. In your early morning teas, in your oolong or your Earl Grey. When you're doing the rooibos, if rooibos is tough for you to stomach, like I've said before, rooibos and a green tea bag, because green tea has a ton of benefits too in the body. I should get that up on the website, by the way, green tea health benefits. Note to self, I'm going to have to do that. Green tea and rooibos makes it a little more palatable. Few drops of ACV in there if you can, in a bottle of water. Few drops of ACV in there when you are later. I don't recommend putting it in the hibiscus tea, the iced tea in the afternoon. It's just, it ruins the flavor. Hibiscus has this nice fresh floral flavor to it, and it's great and it's wonderful. You'll find that out. But when you put ACV in there, I tried it, it kind of ruins that whole thing. So put the ACV in with the rooibos tea. Wait till it cools to what I like to call slamming temperature and slam that stuff down. Here's a tip for you. When you're using these teas, squeeze your tea bags. I leave my tea bags in, like when I do 2 cups of oolong, the first tea bag's in the second cup. I just leave them in. When I get to the bottom of the barrel on the second cup, I just take those tea bags and give them a squeeze, because all you're doing is getting all the good stuff out. You don't have to squeeze them so hard that you end up with tea leaves all over the place. Nobody wants to drink tea leaves. But if you do, no harm, no foul. They're just a plant. So you can use those. But it doesn't make your tea taste very good when you got pulp in it, so to speak. So get the lemon in, get the ACV in. They're going to take some getting used to. The whole program is going to take some getting used to, okay? But you started. You did what probably felt impossible. So, good on you. Journal everything. Look back. Go over. When you get a couple of weeks in, maybe you lost 10 pounds your first week and 4 pounds your second week. And that third week, you struggled to lose a pound. Look back. Maybe give it one more week. maybe that was kind of your initial, and then your normal, and then your body fought back a little bit in the third week. Or maybe the gut bacteria finally latched on to the fiber and started feeding like crazy. Give it time. So if you go 2 weeks with a small amount of loss, half a pound, look back in your journal. What can we move around? Can we move something from dinner to lunch? Can we increase the amount of time from dinner to bedtime? In other words, can we move dinner back a half hour, dinner back an hour, make it 3.5 or 4 hours before dinner? Remember, I'm at least 5. Maybe move breakfast forward a little bit. So the time that your body has no food, what would be considered fasting time, not that you're fasting, but fasting time, you're not giving your body any food, maybe increase that by an hour. Instead of having breakfast at 8, have breakfast at 9. There are things that you can do, but when you're writing everything down, you can look back and make adjustments. That's why we don't count calories. We make good, solid decisions in the 3 macros. We stick to a plan, and I hate to say this, but if you can eat the same foods, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, pretty much all the time, it's going to help. It's going to be boring, but what do you want worse? Whatever your why is, or eating the same foods all the time and being bored and not having much of a palate? And it's all up to you. All I'm doing is laying out the program that I stumbled across that caused me to lose 45 pounds in 100 days, and all of my markers better, some of them even better than when I had been vegan for 1.5 years, 2 years. So that's up to you. Whatever you do with this information is entirely up to you. But you can't do this half-hearted. You can't do this during the week and take the weekends off. It is a lifestyle change. Now, in the future, we'll cover in later steps, obviously, there's going to come a time where you're at your weight. You're comfortable, you're healthy, you're feeling the best you've felt in your life. And you can add in other foods and you can eliminate some of the stuff, you know. But if you have berries in your smoothie, try a different kind of berries. You know, if you have banana and pineapple or whatever it is in your smoothie, try something different if you really need a different flavor profile. Just make sure that it's whole food, minimally processed. Think, be mindful of what is in your spoon, at the end of your fork, in your hot little hand, stuffing in your pie hole. Think. Be mindful of what you're doing. And journal it, write it down. Because writing it down gives you the power to adjust later. Because you may hit a plateau. How can we break through the plateau? We can look back and we can go, well, if we adjust this, maybe we swap lunch and dinner. Maybe we swap something. Do you see what I'm saying? You can always go back and go, hey, you know what? Maybe I am eating a little too much at breakfast. So let's take something out of breakfast and just take it completely off the board. Let's try that for a week and see if we get a different outcome. Weigh yourself every single day. Write it down. Get a scale with an app on your phone so that you can track things like fat, water, and muscle. They're on a sheet, on the sheet for a reason. Because if you, again, write it down on the sheet, if you notice all of a sudden you're losing a lot of muscle, guess what? You can make adjustments. You can up your protein. That'll help you hang on to muscle. If you notice that your water is going down instead of up, you need to be putting more water in your body. If you notice that the fat is being stubborn and it's not coming off, make some adjustments. This is an individualized program. This is not me saying this is how you do every day, because everyone's body is different. This is why it pisses me off when somebody who has never been fat a day in their life tries to tell me how to lose weight. Or someone that's lost 20 pounds tries to tell me how to lose weight. Because until you've walked a mile in my shoes, until you've needed to lose 100+ pounds, you don't know what works and what doesn't. Because what works to lose 20 pounds and never look back is completely different than the lifestyle change required for losing 100+ pounds and keeping it off and becoming healthy. So when my doctor tells me that's not going to work, and then I laugh in his face later because it freaking worked, because he's skinny, he's never been fat a day in his life, and he had 1 day of nutrition training in medical school 20 years ago. And he doesn't remember shit. He's just repeating whatever it is that they're supposed to repeat. So, again, if it isn't written, it isn't true. I've beat a dead horse here. This is the end of step number 2. Like, subscribe, follow along, because this is going to be one hell of a journey. We'll see you guys on the next one.